On Wednesday, November 27, 2004, 26-year-old Theresa Elizabeth Insana did not show up for work for her executive sales job at the Rio Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. As the next day approached on Thursday, co-workers from the Rio became very concerned about Theresa's absence from work, so they decided to go over to her home and try and locate her. Once they were able to get inside her home, they looked everywhere, but the only things they were able to find were Theresa's dog, her purse, her cell phone, her keys, and her car parked in the garage that just so happened to have a blood stain on the back bumper of the vehicle, but no sign of Theresa. After her coworkers were unable to find Theresa anywhere, law enforcement was then notified. Once law enforcement arrived at Theresa's residence, they were able to conclude that there was no forced entry into her home, but law enforcement was able to find other clues that suggested she may have been attacked. Inside the home, a large footprint much too big to be Theresa's was found on the carpeted steps leading upstairs. Just steps away from the stairs inside the bathroom, law enforcement then noticed a towel rack that looked to have been ripped out from the wall, and there were also a few spots of blood found on the baseboards and the mirror, which later on would be matched to a full unknown male profile. In the garage where Theresa's car was left, law enforcement was able to find blood in two spots. One spot being on the back of the bumper of the car, and then more blood was found in the trunk of the car, and these blood spots would later come back to match to Theresa. So after no sign of Theresa, law enforcement canvassed the entire neighborhood, which also included horse-mounted dog and cadaver dog searches as well. Then after coming up short in these searches, about 6 days after Theresa disappeared, her body would then be discovered inside a culvert near a golf course about 3 miles away from her home. Theresa's body was found wrapped in towels and blankets, and some duct tape and rope had also been used as well. An autopsy later on would show that Theresa had died from strangulation and blunt force trauma, and they had also suspected Theresa may have been sexually assaulted as well, but they were unable to definitively confirm this. There was also blood found on Theresa's shirt that did match the blood found in her bathroom just days before. So the question here now is, who did this to Theresa, and why? As this story unfolds, we learn that maybe Theresa's recent previous relationship with an ex-fiancé and a possible love triangle could be the reasons as to why this happened to her. And even though these avenues have been explored by law enforcement, in the end, no one has ever been charged with any crimes relating to Theresa's death, and the suspect pool has always been minimal at best, even to this day. In 2017, 13 years after Theresa's murder, a new technology was used in this case to try and predict what Theresa's killer may possibly look like. And this technology is DNA phenotyping called Parabon Snapshot, and it analyzes the DNA, predicting specific traits about the person that it belongs to. Even though this technology was able to compose a sketch of the killer, to this day no one has ever been able to identify who this person is, and the mystery surrounding Theresa's case would remain. So please join me on my newest episode of True Crime as I cover the rest of Theresa's story and really try to narrow down the possibilities of what may have happened to her. This is an unsolved case that has had very little coverage over the years, so together let's try and bring some more awareness to this already horrifying story. And by bringing awareness to this case, it just might help lead Theresa's family and law enforcement in finding some of the answers and justice they have long been seeking for many years now. I'm your host, Drew V, and you've just heard another trailer of True Crime.